Bricc Baby goes on the show and says, I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von.
So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 is I'm the one that provided the location to OTF.
To Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nah.
The unthinkable has happened. In the cutthroat world of hip-hop, where loyalty is both preached and betrayed, Bricc Baby, once seemingly cemented within the OTF inner circle, allegedly committed the ultimate street transgression. He snitched. Facing the crushing weight of a federal indictment, the hushed whispers rapidly escalated into deafening shouts as news ripped through the industry. Bricc Baby had not just talked, but allegedly implicated Lil Durk himself in a conspiracy that reached from the south side of Chicago all the way to the streets of Los Angeles. The accusations? Orchestrating the attempted murder of Quando Rondo and the tragic death of Lil Pop.
The world is oblivious to this. We've tied this to a bad drug deal. Remember the story? Bricc Baby goes on the show and says, I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von. We're under the presumption that it's an AK-47 case. But what really happened was they came there to get his cell phone. In the process of him doing the search, they come across the AK-47.
I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von, Bricc Baby reportedly declared, a chillingly casual statement that wasn't just heard. It detonated across the internet, igniting a firestorm of speculation and sending seismic shockwaves throughout the rap world. Tensions are now at a breaking point. OTF members are being systematically rounded up, and every accusatory finger, every enraged comment, every street corner conversation points squarely at Bricc Baby. But beneath the surface-level outrage, a crucial question lingers. Is Bricc Baby truly the snitch everyone is so quick to condemn? And more importantly, what catastrophic consequences could this alleged betrayal unleash upon Lil Durk's hard-earned empire? This isn't just another rap beef, this is a potential dynasty crumbling from within.
Slide for Von, right? Yeah.
They say that no more.
Why? Oh, yeah, because of... Wait, no. Like, who died?
Can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Or who?
Nah, because Lil Pop.
To truly grasp the magnitude of this alleged betrayal, we must rewind the clock, tracing back to the volatile event that served as the catalyst for this entire unfolding drama, the devastating loss of King Von November 6, 2020, a date etched in infamy for OTF and its devoted fanbase. King Von, born Davon Bennett, wasn't just a rapper, he was a lyrical powerhouse, a storyteller who painted vivid pictures of street life and, most crucially, Lil Durk's brother-in-arms. His meteoric rise in the rap game was tragically cut short when violence erupted outside an Atlanta hookah lounge. His death wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a seismic event that reverberated throughout hip-hop. In the immediate aftermath, grief morphed into rage, and the streets, fueled by social media, demanded vengeance. The Slide for Von campaign was born, a relentless online crusade pressuring Durk to retaliate, to avenge his fallen comrade with swift and decisive action. Memes flooded timelines, hashtags trended globally, and every comment section under Durk's post became a relentless chorus. Slide for Von. Don't let them get away with it. Avenge Von. The weight of expectation was not just immense, it was suffocating. The world watched, waiting to see how Lil Durk, the head of OTF, would respond to this ultimate test of loyalty and street code. The stage was brutally set, and the pressure cooker of retaliation was primed to explode.
Wait, they got charged by the Fed?
Nothing like it pops up.
Let's go real quick. Hey, good work.
They got charged by the Fed. So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 is I'm the one that provided the location to
Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nah. You know what I mean? Like, I know it looks... I wouldn't be right here doing all this first and foremost if I was co-conspirator number 4.
Then, months later, the violence spilled over to the West Coast, Los Angeles, August 18th, 2022. Quando Rondo, embroiled in a simmering feud with OTF since King Von's death, found himself the target. Pumping gas at a quiet gas station in broad daylight, his SUV became the epicenter of a sudden, terrifying ambush. Gunfire erupted, shattering the calm and transforming the mundane scene into a chaotic war zone. Quando Rondo miraculously survived the hail of bullets, but tragically, someone else paid the ultimate price. His close associate, Lil Pap real name Frederick Rooks, was fatally wounded in the attack. Lil Pap, a figure largely unknown to the wider public, became an unwitting casualty in a war that wasn't even directly his. Initially, law enforcement and media outlets treated the LA shooting as a localized incident, perhaps a gang-related squabble or a random act of violence. It seemed disconnected, thousands of miles away from the Atlanta tragedy that claimed King Von. But beneath the surface, a different narrative was brewing. A dark undercurrent connecting the dots between Chicago and Los Angeles, between King Von and Lil Pap. Whispers began to circulate, fueled by street informants and online speculation suggesting this wasn't random. This was calculated, deliberate, and deeply personal. This, many began to suspect, was payback for King Von. This was the slide.
There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.
And that's when Bricc Baby stepped into the spotlight, fanning the flames of suspicion with every word he uttered. He didn't just hint, he practically painted a billboard of implication. He jumped on multiple interviews, strategically choosing platforms with massive reach, and began dropping breadcrumbs of information, each one more incriminating than the last. I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von, he declared with an almost unsettling nonchalance. It wasn't a direct confession, but it was far more potent. It was a boast disguised as commentary, a wink and a nod to those in the know. He didn't explicitly name Lil Durk as the mastermind, but he didn't need to. The implication hung heavy in the air, thick with unspoken accusations. He was in essence taking credit for OTF's retaliation, subtly bragging about their business, while simultaneously and perhaps unknowingly pointing a neon sign towards Lil Durk as the orchestrator. He appeared almost eager to reveal this information, basking in the perceived glory of OTF's response, seemingly oblivious to the potential legal ramifications of his loose lips. These weren't just off-the-cuff remarks, they were calculated whispers in a crowded room designed to be overheard to plant seeds of suspicion and solidify a narrative in the public consciousness.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's bro. I'm saying, my whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like, before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like, I remember when the money wasn't there, first I'm gonna say you 50, I got you and I gave my lawyer money and everything when I'm fighting my case. I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through. All that, like, Durk come through.
But the whispers turned into a roar when Wack 100 entered the chat. Marion Wack 100 Knight Jr., a controversial but undeniably influential figure in the music industry, known for his outspoken nature and deep street connections, never shies away from controversy. He went on Vlad TV, a platform known for its no-holds-barred interviews, and unleashed a verbal barrage that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. Wack didn't mince words. He didn't speculate. He directly accused Bricc Baby of being a snitch, plain and simple. He declared that the initial narrative, the convenient cover story of a drug deal gone wrong in LA, was nothing but a fabricated smokescreen. According to Wack, the truth was far more sinister, far more damaging. Bricc Baby, he claimed, had been cooperating with authorities, singing to the feds for an extended period. Wack then dropped another bombshell connecting Bricc Baby's alleged snitching to a seemingly unrelated incident, a highly publicized raid on Bricc Baby's home for a gun charge. Initially reported as a straightforward weapons violation, Wack painted a far more complex picture. He alleged that the gun charge was merely a pretext, a convenient excuse to gain access to Bricc Baby and, more crucially, his cell phone. The feds, Wack implied, weren't primarily interested in an illegal firearm. They were on a fishing expedition, desperately seeking digital evidence, phone records, text messages, anything that could tie Bricc Baby, and ultimately Lil Durk, to the LA shooting and the slide for Von motive. The dismissed gun charge in Wack's narrative wasn't a lucky break for Bricc Baby, it was leverage. A pressure tactic used by federal agents to squeeze information, to coerce cooperation, to turn Bricc Baby into an informant against his own crew. Wack 100's accusations weren't just inflammatory, they were meticulously detailed, painting a damning portrait of betrayal and government manipulation. Then, the legal hammer finally dropped. A federal indictment landed not just on individual OTF members, but on the organization itself, charging them with a sprawling conspiracy to commit murder for hire. And shockingly, Lil Durk's name was directly implicated. The charges stemmed from the August 2022 shooting in Los Angeles, solidifying the connection between El Pap's death and the Slide for Von narrative. Almost simultaneously, footage resurfaced online of Bricc Baby's live reaction to the news breaking on No Jumper, and his reaction, it was utterly revealing. He wasn't angry, he wasn't defiant, he was visibly, palpably shaken. His usual boastful persona vanished, replaced by a stunned silence, a deer in the headlights look of dawning realization. He stammered, struggled to find words, his bravado completely evaporated. It was as if the full weight of his alleged double dealing, the potential consequences of his loose talk had suddenly crashed down upon him. The indictment itself was carefully worded, hinting at the existence of a co-conspirator, someone within the inner circle who had allegedly provided crucial information, specifically Quando Rondo's location in Los Angeles, and almost instantaneously the internet detectives, the armchair investigators, the millions of fans dissecting every detail all converged on a single name, Bricc Baby, co-conspirator number 4. The label stuck instantly, and the suspicion solidified into near certainty in the court of public opinion. Was it him? Had Bricc Baby, in his eagerness to boast about OTF's actions, inadvertently signed his own crew's death warrant? In a desperate attempt to quell the rising tide of accusations, Bricc Baby sat down for an interview with DJ Vlad, hoping to clear his name, to dispel the rumors, to convince the world of his innocence. Vlad, ever the direct interviewer, didn't beat around the bush. He confronted Bricc Baby head-on. So they said that I, or co-conspirator number 4, is I'm the one that provided the location to Lil Durk? Bricc Baby's response was far from convincing. He stammered, deflected, offered weak denials that crumbled under the slightest scrutiny. Yeah, I mean like I know it looks, he mumbled, his carefully constructed facade of street credibility cracking under pressure. He feebly argued that he wouldn't be publicly discussing the case, engaging in interviews if he were truly guilty, if he were indeed co-conspirator number 4, but his logic was flawed, his demeanor unconvincing. He claimed his friendship with Quando Rondo was separate from the beef, a carefully cultivated relationship untouched by the violence. He even stated he and Quando had talked 3 to 4 times already, and kept their beef, and our relationship. But the internet wasn't buying it. His denials rang hollow, his explanations convoluted. Every twitch, every nervous glance, every hesitant word seemed to scream guilt louder than any confession. The online comment sections exploded with accusations. "We see right through you, Bricc Boy," one user wrote. "Snitch Baby," declared another. His attempt at damage control backfired spectacularly, only further cementing his image as the prime suspect, the rat in the OTF ranks. His Vlad TV interview, intended to exonerate him, became Exhibit A in the case against Bricc Baby in the court of public opinion. But just when the narrative seemed firmly set, just when Bricc Baby appeared to be the sole villain of this unfolding tragedy, another name emerged from the shadows, sending shockwaves that dwarfed even the Bricc Baby revelations: OTF Jam. Reports, initially whispers from street sources but quickly amplified by credible media outlets, began to surface, alleging an even deeper, more insidious betrayal. OTF Jam, real name James Prince, an OTF member who had recently been welcomed back into the fold after serving a staggering 12-year prison sentence for attempted murder, was accused of being not just an informant, but a long-term, deeply embedded mole within OTF. The allegations were staggering. Jam, showered with gifts, cars, and cash by Lil Durk upon his release in 2022, had allegedly been wearing a wire, secretly recording conversations, gathering evidence for federal agents for years. This wasn't a recent flip under pressure. This was a calculated, long con betrayal that stretched back to his time in prison. The depth of the deception was breathtaking. Jam, who had publicly declared his loyalty, who had been embraced as family, was allegedly the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. The technology itself added another layer of shock. Not some crude, easily detectable wire from an old movie, but sophisticated miniature recording devices, easily concealed, virtually undetectable. The thought that someone within Durk's closest circle, someone he had trusted implicitly, had been secretly working against him for years, recording his every move, his every word, it was a betrayal of Shakespearean proportions. 2 rats in OTF? It seemed almost too unbelievable, a cruel twist of fate that pushed the boundaries of loyalty and brotherhood to their breaking point. The feds are meticulously building their case, and the whispers now point towards a RICO indictment, a legal weapon designed to dismantle entire criminal organizations. The ultimate goal? not just to prosecute individual OTF members, but to cripple OTF as an entity, to dismantle it not just as a music label, but as a purported criminal enterprise, allegedly operating as a front for the notorious Black Disciples gang. And here's where the legal complexities intensify, and where the lines between art and reality blur: rap lyrics. While the admissibility of rap lyrics in criminal trials remains a fiercely debated topic, in a RICO case, they can become a potent, albeit controversial, tool for the prosecution. Lyrics often boasting of violence, gang affiliation, and criminal activity could be used to paint a vivid, albeit potentially misleading, picture of OTF's alleged criminal operations, to demonstrate their purported deep ties to the Black Disciples and to highlight their ongoing feuds with rival gangs like the Southside Gangster Disciples and 051 Young Money. Lil Durk, who rose from the streets to become a global rap superstar, who was once celebrated, even honored with keys to cities, now finds himself incarcerated, facing the very real prospect of life in federal prison. His empire, painstakingly constructed on a foundation of loyalty, family, and street credibility, is now teetering on the brink of collapse, threatened not just by external forces, but by betrayal from within. The haunting question lingers, echoing through the wreckage: was it all worth it? The ego-fueled conflicts, the relentless cycle of violence, the constant pursuit of street validation. Lil Durk's dramatic downfall serves as a chilling cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the razor-thin line that separates the glamorous facade of the rapper from the brutal realities of the gangster, and the devastating consequences when those two worlds collide in a catastrophic implosion of loyalty, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of power.